Hi, all. Good morning.
Good morning, Vijay.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're not speaking, you can be on mute, please. Deepika, can you go on mute? Thank you. All right. So in our previous class, we have been discussing on the profiles and permission sets. Hope you all understood what is a profile and what's the permission set. Okay. Yeah. Do you have any questions on profiles and permission sets? Anyone? Any questions? Okay. Fine. Let me log into the org. So in the profiles, we have discussed like, so profile is just a kind of component which contains a set of permissions. So what permissions we have discussed all of them in detail. Like we can specify what applications we can access, a user can access, what tabs a user can access, what objects a user can access, and what operations he can perform on the objects, and what fields he can access. So what kind of page layouts, what general permissions, system permissions, custom permissions, and session settings, password policies, what Apex classes he can access, which custom metadata types he can access. We can also specify login hours and login IP ranges. So all these details, we can do it on our permission set, right? So permission set is a base for the user's access or the security settings for a particular user, right? Okay, so go to our application, go to the setup, and on the profiles, you can find the profiles available in your org. If you search for profiles, right? So these are the profiles which are available in my Salesforce org. So we have done a customized profile called this TL profile. And in this specifically, we have seen multiple options. So we can see custom application settings, and I have given the talent acquisition as the default app for them. So we can make one app as a default, and we can make other applications as visible. And then the tab settings. So we can make the tabs visible to the users, or we can hide the tabs which completely do not show that particular tab to the user. We can do that. And administrative permissions. So in this, we were discussing the important ones, that is other apex and bulk API hard delete. So these were the two permissions which we were talking, which is important. So if you need to write the apex classes, you need to have the other apex permission. And through data loader, if you need to do hard delete operation, You need to have bulk API hard delete checkbox checked on your profile, which is assigned to you as a user. And general user permissions. And these are the object level permissions like read, create, edit, delete, view all, modify all. So I would ask you to go through our class completely because there can be a, interview questions or, admin certification exam questions, which will be coming around this part. Like, what if I am given a view all? What if I am given modify all? What is the difference between read and view all? So what is the difference? So those kind of questions can appear. So go through our discussion about this particular topic, session settings. So we can specify like 15 minutes of inactivity, then the session gets logged out. Okay. And password policies we have discussed. And apart from this, we have login IP rangers, sorry, login hours and login IP ranges. Okay. Right. So these are all the things which we have discussed on our permission profiles. Okay. So if you go to permission sets, so there is something called permission set. So these are all the permission sets which I have. Okay. So permission set can extend the user's set of settings or options, security options which he has. Like if he was not able to access, let's say, our custom object position, so by default in his profile he should not be accessing the custom objects. But if we want to give him access to only our position object, we can go ahead and create a permission set and then assign this permission set to that particular user, right? Okay. And permission sets, uh, how we are going to configure, we have already discussed, right? So we will click on the new here and then configure. So you can click on new. So give your permission set label and then the license and then save. And then our the settings window opens. Okay. So there you can give all the permissions which are present in the profile are also present in the permission set, except two things, that is login hours and login IP ranges. Except those two parts, all other options are available in the permission sets also. So permission sets are basically used to extend your visibility or add extra security settings to your profile. Okay, give you extend the permissions basically. And so it's not going to restrict, it's going to extend. Okay, right? So if I need to restrict a user, probably profile is the only place where I can give whatever he needs and we can mention it, right? But usually permission sets, they are going to be used for extending on top of the profile level permissions. Okay. So OWD settings will be overridden by profiles and profile settings will be overridden by permission sets. Okay. So this point you will have to make a note of it or remember, right? So we have done a couple of assignments and also field level permissions also we have done. So we can select which fields to be visible to the user. So that also we can do it. And login IP ranges and coming to permission sets. Right. So permission sets we have discussed. So if somebody asks you, can you explain about the security in Salesforce? You can go ahead and explain this particular chat. Okay. So security is configured at the system level, application level, object level, record level, and field level. Okay. And system level, it's login IP ranges and login hours. And so when we are talking about login IP ranges, we have this at the profile level. But if you want to, let's go to our org. Let me share one more point here as we were talking, right? So, but I have multiple branches, right? So I want to give access based on like multiple branches. So in that case, we can go ahead and set the IP ranges in the network access as well. So at the profile level, we can give login IP ranges, but at the organization wide level, we can go ahead and click on this network access and specify the range. Okay, so that we can do. Okay, yeah. So system level, login IP ranges, login hours, network access, org level, and application level, we are only concentrating on profiles and permission sets. Object level also profiles and permission sets. Field level profiles and permission sets. Record level, we have OWD, role hierarchy, manual sharing, sharing rules, Apex sharing. So we are going to share the records, right? So we have discussed this topic, sharing mechanisms, manual sharing, automated sharing. So as part of automated sharing, we created sharing rules, and we can also write Apex sharing rules using the Apex programming. So record level sharing, we have all this, including our profiles and permission sets. So this is the base which you can explain in detail if somebody asks you in any kind of interviews, right? Okay, so let's go to a new topic. Okay, so I have a general scenario like I have an employee, I have an account, a customer who's let's say I have a customer test account and his annual revenue is some 20 lakhs. Okay. So, but what I need to do is, so there is something called service tax or income tax, right? So I just want to uh, calculate the income tax, the service tax for him. Like, let's say service tax is 5% of his annual revenue. So I want a service tax to be calculated and then deducted from his annual revenue. So in that case, this particular service tax thing is not available field on our account object, right? So in that case, what we are going to do, we also this in this scenario, if it is like 5 records, 10 records, I can go ahead and manually calculate like 2 lakh, 20 lakhs, 5% is 1 lakh. So I can calculate, I can make use of my calculator and then write down the things out here if it is 5 or 10 records. But when it comes to the real time scenario, it's thousands and thousands of records. So in that case, I don't want to calculate manually. So I want my salesforce system to do this for me. So yes, we can do it with the help of a field called formula field. So formula field, so we just need to set the criteria for the formula and then it automatically calculates all this. Okay, so we are going to give a condition like in our formula field. So annual revenue is equals to service tax is equals to annual revenue into 5/100, right? 5% of it. Okay, so that I'm going to do in my formula field. So the service tax is a formula field which I'm going to create, and that is going to calculate my annual revenue. And this field will always be a read-only field because this cannot be edited because it's a system generated field and we cannot edit the values in this particular field, right? So let's discuss the right. So formula fields are the read-only system-generated fields whose value will be generated by Salesforce. And yes, so we have multiple functions under the formula fields, which are going to be used in calculating the formula. Okay, so let me show you. Right. So this is our Salesforce org, right? So in the account, let's say, so I'll take a data loader test account. Okay, we don't have the annual revenue, I guess, right? Or we have it. Oh, nice, we have it. Okay, so here, when we click on accounts, so let me display the fields which needs to be visible. So I want annual revenue to be displayed on top. So that's the reason so account name, annual billing city, annual revenue. Okay, so let's save. So now we have this field called annual revenue, right? So this annual revenue, I just want to have a field which calculates like the service tax. So I want a field like service tax, which will calculate the 5% of it and then put that amount, right? So that's where we make use of a field called formula field. So we can create the formula field. So yes, okay. So go to our settings, sorry, setup, and sorry, you can go to any account which you want to create a formula field. So let's say Burlington Textiles. So you can go to the edit object, and here under the object manager on the left side, we have this details. So fields and relationships, and you can go ahead and create a field. So formula field is nothing new, just like any other field we are creating, we will have to create the formula field also in the similar way. But so while creating the field, we are going to select this data type. So this data type should be formula. Okay. So if you select, yeah. So here, if you see, so there is some data type called formula, right? A read-only field that derives its value from formula expression you define. The formula field is updated when any of the source fields change. Yes, this one other point is important. So it's a read-only field, but it gets changed, or this formula field gets fired as soon as any of its source fields has been updated. So in our expression which we give for the formula field, we make use of some other fields, right? So that some other fields, if they get changed, then this formula field gets recalculated and it displays the latest value. So yeah, that's how this formula field works. So yes, this is the navigation. So here, so the formula field provides us with a couple of functions which we can make use of. So if you see, Salesforce provides the below functions for creating the formula fields, right? So these are our regular arithmetic functions or aggregate functions which we make use in normal mathematics, right? So absolute, this is a function. This function returns the absolute value of the specified number. So if you give a negative number, it will give a positive. If you give a positive number, it will give positive one. Okay, because it gives the absolute value. And square root of a number, it returns the square root value of the given number. Okay. So if you put square root of 144, it gives 12. If you put square root of let's say 49, it gives 7. If you give square root of 36, it gives 6. So something like that. Okay, square root. General mathematic function. So it's a part of our formula fields, which is given as part of our formula fields. Okay. Length. So it returns an integer value which indicate number of characters exist in the specified string. Okay. So length of this, so welcome. So here 7 characters, it returns 7. So if I give something like well space come, it will give me 8 because it is going to count the spaces also. Okay. Right. So trim, it removes the blank spaces exist before and or after the string. Okay. So if we give space welcome, so it is going to display only welcome. That space it is going to remove. Or if we give space here also, that is also going to be removed, right? So trim is the function which is used for this purpose. Upper string, it converts all the characters exist inside the string into uppercase letters, right? Upper of, if we give the string, it's converting into uppercase letters, and lower is converting into lowercase letters. So if you give uppercase, then it converts to lowercase, right? And we have another function called floor, which returns the lower value of the given number. That means, like, let's say I have an experience of 12 years, 2 months. So if we calculate 12.2, floor value will be 12. So it's going to give me 12, right? Ceiling, the number, ceiling of number. It returns the nearest higher value of the given number. Okay. So if you say I have 4.6, so ceiling of 4.6, it's going to give me 5, right? Ceiling. Left, string and number of characters, right? It returns the specified number of characters from the left side of the string. So if you specify string and the characters, so it returns the, from the left, it will count those many characters and it will display, right? Left of welcome 3, so it's going to display well. If I say 4, sorry, 4, it's going to display well C. Okay, 4 characters from the left. And right of the string, again, it's the same to left, where it is going to count from this side. So same welcome of 3 is going to count this from this side, EMO, right? Backside. So if I give 4, it's going to display COME, right? Come. Okay. Then we have this substring, string integer starting position and integer number of characters. So it returns the number of characters getting from the starting position, which we have specified, right? So substring of welcome to Germany, if I give and starting as 4 and display to 5 characters. So here, if you see, you need to count the characters. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 characters has been counted, and from C it has to start, and it has to give me 5 characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 as the space. So if you see here, the space is also given here, right? So this is what the substring function does. And these are regular date functions today. It returns the system date, year of date. So it just returns, if we provide some date value, it just returns the year. So if we send today's date, it's going to return 2023. That's the year, current year. Month. So if we send month of date, if we send today's date, it's going to give us April 04, right? And day of date, it's going to give today's day, that is 13th, right? 13th of April. And yeah, we have this regular. Again, if condition true or false. So you would have done some kind of programming. So this is regular if else condition. So it's a conditional statement which evaluates all the specified conditions and returns true if all the conditions are satisfied, else it returns false, right? So if, and we give the condition, and here the true statement to be executed, and here the false statement that needs to be executed. Okay. If age greater than 18, true, in the true section, issue him voter ID card. False, sorry, you are not eligible. So something like that. So we can write the condition, right? And image. So by using this function, we can display the images dynamically in the record detail pages. Okay. So you need to give the path of the image, and the alternative text is like when you hover over the image like this, like if you are doing something on the image, so it has to display the text. So that's the alternate text which you can give. Height and width also you can give uh, based on your requirement, how much size of the image you want to display. If you don't mention, it will take automatically this actual size of the image, right? And case. So case expression, you would have known about it, the expression, and then the case statements for each cases, right? So that's the, if it's a default value, we are going to mention for each case, it's going to evaluate. If it's true, it's going to stop there and exit the loop. So yeah, the same case expression, regular programming case expression. Okay. And text, pick list field name. Text function will returns the currently selected value from the specified pick list field. So if, so this is like, if you are giving pick list field, so currently selected pick list value, that value it is going to return. Okay. So while creating the formula field, the formula can result in any of the following 8 data types. Okay. Yeah, this is like while we are configuring the formula field, I'll show you. Okay. So we need to also specify the output of that particular field, right? The result of that particular field, what data type it should be. So we have to decide on that. Okay. So let's go ahead and uh, do an assignment. So the assignment is like the same scenario. I have the account object who has an annual revenue. So I need a service tax field which needs to be created using the formula field. And it should be like the service tax should be 5% of the annual revenue. So what formula we are going to use? So this is the field I'm going to create. So how many assignments we have done? 49. Right. Assignment number 50. Create a formula field service tax which calculates 5% of annual revenue as service tax and displays in the service tax field. Okay, so this service tax field, we don't have this field on our account object. So we are going to create a new field called service tax, and we are going to do the calculation, right? So this is our assignment. So let's go ahead, go to our Salesforce org. So let me go to the org. Okay, so we are on our accounts. So if you see, uh, so there is this field annual revenue, but if you see, you don't have any fields like service tax. Okay, so you don't have those fields. If you see here, it's not there. So it's not a standard field. So we are going to create a custom field, right? So I want that service tax field to be displayed here. So like how much amount of my annual revenue I'm paying as service tax. So I need to do that. So for that, let's go to, so click on edit object. We are editing the account object. So for the account object under the object manager, you go to fields and relationships. So similar to how we create fields on our object, formula field is also the same, but the data type you will have to select it as formula. That is the difference, right? So this is the navigation. Click on new. So here you have to select the data type as formula, right? Go click next. Give the field label. So I want, as per my assignment, I'm taking it as service tax. Okay. Okay. Auto add this custom report type. Add this field to the existing custom report types that contains this entity. Yeah. If you want to add it in reports, you can check it. Otherwise, you can remove. Yeah. This is the place where I wanted to mention. So formula return type. So I was telling you, right? There were 8 types of data types, which are uh, return types for our formula. So this is where, while creating the formula field, the formula result can be any of the following eight data types. So so we will have to specify our requirement. So here actually, so before creating the formula field, you need to understand, analyze the formula field, right? So we are going to work on the field called annual revenue, right? And this is a currency field, right? Money, currency, right? So, and what I'm doing, service tax. So the calculation also, if you need to do, you can do it. So service tax is equals to annual revenue 5% is star 5 divided by 100. Okay. So this is our formula, right? So this is our general mathematics formula. So this we have to decide. So that means after calculating this, so annual revenue into 5 divided by 1000, again, it's going to be a number that's a currency number. So that is an amount, right? So amount, again, we are specifying it in the currency. So the return type uh, for our assignment is, again, because we are working on the currency field along with the numbers, and it returns again the currency field only. So this we will have to decide. We will have to decide what formula we are going to use, how we are going to use, and what will be the return type of our formula data type, right? So it's currency, right? So go to that. So here you have to select the formula return type as currency, and it gives me an option decimal places. I don't want to specify any decimal places, just 0, but in case you need it, you can use it. So based on your business requirement, click on next. Right. So here is where you need to enter your formula. So enter the formula and click check syntax. So yes, right. So here you can see simple formula, advanced formula. So you can use any one of them. So I'm using advanced formula. I'm going here and yes, I'm getting my formula. So this is what I have written, right? So this is my formula. Okay. So here I'm just writing my formula because it's a simple one. So here, if you see, there is something called check syntax. So if you click it, it will check the syntax. If you can see if you have any syntactical errors or something. All right. Let's not give this. Or I'm not sure annual revenue, how it is represented. We can even insert the field also, extra revenue. All right, what I will do is we have this input field, right? You can go select that input field and here annual revenue. I want to insert annual revenue and I want to give star 5 divided by 100, right? So let's see if it is giving any error. Now the bracket, yeah. No syntax errors in merge fields or functions, right? So there is no error. So now go ahead and you can give the help description, help text if you want. Blank field handling. If your formula references any number, currency, or percent field, specify what happens to that formula output when their values are blank. So if annual revenue is blank, so if we need it to do something, yes, we can specify that, right? Okay. Treat blanks as zeros. Yeah, that's fine. I'm using the same. Click on next. Okay, you need to specify to which profiles it should be useful, visible. So I am specifying all the profiles. So you can again here be specific on based on your requirement and click on next. And now, yeah, that is it, right? So the page layouts also, if you want to select, you can select the page layouts, whichever you want to display. So I'm selecting everything. So click on save. And that is it. Your formula field is created. Okay. So here, if you go, these are the fields in our account object. So let's go, where is our service tax? So this is our formula field, which we have created, service tax underscore C. So this is a custom field, right? So on the account object, I have created a custom field, service tax, and it's a field of type formula. So it's called a formula field. Okay, so we have added this. So let's go to our org and see. So refresh it and I want to display the service tax field to be displayed here. So let me go select fields to display. So previously there was nothing like service tax here. Now it should be there, right? So this field was not there previously. Just now we created using the formula field. So I want to add it and I want to display it just beside the annual revenue. Just to understand like the calculation is going correct or not. Okay. So annual revenue, service tax, let's save. And here you go. Okay. So if the annual revenue is nothing, it's nothing. So here annual revenue and this is the service tax, right? So this one is like how much? 5 crores. So this is 5 crores of which you will have to pay 5% tax, that is 25 lakhs. So this, so here if you see, you can edit it, right? So these are editable fields, but here if you see, there is a lock symbol, right? So these are read-only fields, okay? So you cannot edit it. They are read-only fields and they are system generated fields based on our formula criteria which we have given. Okay. Right. So now you may have doubt. So what happens if I change my annual revenue? Yep. Let's go ahead and change the annual revenue for this data loader test account 3. So I want to change it as 20 lakhs. So for 20 lakhs, what is the 5%? 1 lakh, right? So I have entered the value, and now when I click save, so here the service tax should be 1 lakh, right? 5% of it, sorry, 10,000. So I entered 2 lakhs. So it got to 10,000. I didn't enter 20 lakhs. So if I say 20 lakhs, it should be 1 lakh, right? So now it's 1 lakh. So this message, if you see, these are called toast messages in Salesforce, okay? Toast messages that we will deal while we are doing the Apex programming about this toast messages also. We can display, we can make use of the show toast event class, right? Okay. So if I edit the source field for my formula field, the formula field is going to get recalculated and it is going to display the latest value based on the formula evaluation, right? So like assignment rules, how it is going to be triggered based on the criteria given, right? But here, if you say, if you go and edit something like a rating, so my formula field, the service tax field will not get affected. If you go and edit this warm, sorry, yeah, there is warm, right? I want to make it as hot. So if you go and save it, the formula field will remain the same. Let's take another example here, this one. So I'm going to make it as hot and the formula fields will remain the same, right? The reason is for our formula field, source field is only the annual revenue field, but not the rating field. Okay. So only if the source field changes, then our formula gets evaluated again, and then our formula field value gets also changed based on the input we have given in annual revenue. So if only the source field, which is given as input field for our formula field changes, then the formula gets recalculated. But if other fields change, there's no effect to our formula field. Okay. Right. So let's take another example. So here we were calculating the service tax, right? But I want um, the remaining net annual revenue. Okay. So this is the gross annual revenue, and of which the service tax I have deducted, and I want to display the net annual revenue. So in that case, what I need to do, so we need to, let's go ahead and do it with an assignment 51, create a formula field. Net annual revenue, which calculates which calculates which deducts the service tax, and displays the net. Net annual revenue, right? So here, let us take the criteria. So formula, what we are going to use. So again, we are going to depend on the annual revenue field as well as our service tax field, both the fields, right? So can anyone give me the formula of net annual revenue? Are you here? Are you guys? Okay. So net annual revenue will be my annual revenue minus service tax. Service tax. So this is going to be our calculation, and return type will be again the same currency, right? So we are actually dealing with currency here, and it's a currency, and the output will be the currency, right? So let's go ahead and configure this particular formula field. Okay. So here, if you see, so there is no field like net annual revenue. Okay. So there is no field. So now we are going to create that net annual revenue field, which is a formula field. Okay. So let's go ahead on the object and then click on edit object, object manager. So under the object manager, fields and relationship, I'm repeating it because you will have to uh, know the navigation as well. Okay. It should be on top of your mind. Okay. So go to object manager, and under that left side, fields and relationships, right? Go ahead and click a new field, new, and it should be of type formula field, right? Click on next, and the field label net. So I'm giving it as net annual revenue. Okay. Add this field. Yeah. Output again, it's the same currency. And I don't, okay, let's use of this. So I want 2 decimal places. Okay. In the service tax, we were not using it, but here I'm using it. It doesn't make much difference, but yes. So since we are not using in service tax, I don't want to this also to display decimal places. Click on next. And here, if you see, so our formula is very simple, right? So let's go insert annual revenue, and operator, it's just the subtract, and again insert another field. So if you see here, it should be service tax. Where is our service tax? Right. So this is our formula field. Insert. Yeah, that is it, right? So here it's going to take the API name. If you observe, service tax underscore underscore C. That's the API name for our service tax field, service tax formula field, which we have created. Okay. So this is our formula. Let's check the syntax. It should be good. Yeah, it's good. So here, if you see the functions we have discussed, right? All the functions. So those are the functions which are available: absolute, ACOS, add months, as in ATAN, begins. So there were multiple functions. Okay, we can't discuss all of them, but you can go ahead and check it here, like which kind of functions you want to use. Image, if, is null, is number. Yeah, this also you may need to understand. Length, mod, right, reverse, square root, text, right? So these are all the functions available which we can make use in our formula fields. Okay. So here, if you want to insert any field, you can click on insert field, select that. If you want to insert operator, you can click on this, select the operator. All the arithmetic and logical operators are here. Okay. So yes. Yeah. One other important point. Yeah. Okay. I will complete this assignment and I will go. So I don't want to deal with empty spaces. So I'm just keeping as it is, and I want to make it visible to all the profiles and all the page layouts also. And I'm clicking save, right? So here our net annual revenue field is created. So net annual revenue underscore underscore C. So this is our custom field, which we have created on our account object. And it's a type of field called formula type. Okay. So it's a formula field, right? So let's go back to our accounts. So here, first I will refresh and I will also pull that particular field to be displayed on top. So net annual revenue, this is the field. And I want to display just beside the service tags so that I can easily understand the calculation. Okay, right. So here, if you see, annual revenue is this 5 crores, right? Service tax is 25 lakhs, and net annual revenue, the remaining annual revenue is 4 crores 75 lakhs, right? So again, this is also formula field. It's not editable. This is also formula field. It's not editable. And both of them are depending on our annual revenue field. So let's go ahead, take some round of figure. So here, if you say 35 lakhs, let's go ahead and update it. So I want to make it as some round figure. Okay. Let's say 20 lakhs. So 20 lakhs, 5% is 1 lakh, right? So service tax 1 lakh, net annual revenue should be 19 lakhs, right? So when I click save, you can see here, service tax is 1 lakh, net annual revenue is 19 lakhs. That means 20 lakhs annual revenue, I paid service tax 1 lakh, and the remaining complete net annual revenue for the company is 19 lakhs, right? So this is how we create formula fields in our Salesforce. Okay. So there is one more point which I wanted to mention, that is we can also reference cross objects. Cross objects, when I say any objects which are in relationship, let's say lookup relationship or okay, lookup relationship. So in master detail, we are going to make use of the roll up summary fields, right? But if any objects are, let's say for account, for if you take any account, so we have a lookup for the contacts, right? So context is the child object for account as a lookup. Okay. So I can reference the, from the contact object, I can reference account objects. How we are going to do? So let me show a small demo. So let me go to, so here I just went to that contact, right? And I want to edit the contact object. So I want to create a formula field, let's say. I'm just giving a demo, but this is for your assignment or use case, whatever you call it. Click on new and formula field. Click on next. Give cross object formula field. So I want to reference the industry. So industry is a text field. Okay. So I'm selecting the output field as text. Next.